The following message is transmitted at the request by the Metropolitan Police Department of the District of Columbia. At approximately 1:38 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 2 explosions have been reported at the site of National Mall and Washington Monument. The explosions has caused a wildfire in the park, and has also caused severe damage at the Washington Monument. Exact number of fatalities are unknown at this time. All residents within a 1.5-mile radius of National Mall and Washington Monument are needed to seek shelter in substantial shelter. If possible, evacuate to a safer location until the authorities have given an all-clear. It is unknown who these perpetrators are, nor any motive have been at this time. However, residents must continue to monitor local radio and internet sources and refer to later statements and possible warnings on this dangerous situation.
This message is being transmitted at the request by the New York City Police Department. At approximately 1:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, an explosion has occurred at the Hammerstein Ballroom in Midtown Manhattan. The explosion had caused significant damage to the ballroom, with unconfirmed reports of fatalities and injuries had been received. This explosion had also occurred during the Hatsune Miku 2016 Expo. At this time, the motive behind this attack is currently unknown, nor who these perpetrators are. All residents within a 1.5-mile radius of Hammerstein Ballroom are needed to return to your homes immediately. If possible, evacuate to a safer location until authorities declared this area safe. It is speculated that this event must be related to the bombings in Washington, D.C. just minutes ago, though it was currently under a thorough investigation at this time. Continue to monitor local radio and internet sources and refer to later statements and updates on this dangerous situation. This is WNBC4 New York. This is Paul Brenner, here on the latest breaking news update regarding the explosion at the Hammerstein Ballroom, which had just occurred during the Hatsune Miku 2016 Expo. Initial estimates believe that as many as 300 to 600 people have been killed, and over thousands of people injured. Many New Yorkers had called this as the worst day in New York's history. We do not know the actual scale of devastation at this time, nor what could have caused this explosion. We are seeing live images from our news chopper that there is panic and chaos spreading across the streets as frantic people were running away from the building that exploded, and we could also see dozens of emergency vehicles arriving at the scene. We had no word yet from the Krypton Future Media Incorporation, who hosted the World Tour event, regarding this current situation. However, judging how dangerous the explosion was, and the scale of the disaster was becoming apparent, it is possible that they might cancel the World Tour altogether. We are aware that Hatsune Miku, A Japanese Vocaloid was touring 10 cities across North America, with Mexico City being the next tour venue for the concert to take place. During this time, the fate of the Hatsune Miku Expo 2016 remained uncertain at this time. Some sources believe that it must be a terrorist attack, however, we do not want to jump to any conclusions. Wait a second. I got a call. Just a moment. What the hell? Are you serious? Okay, I'll inform the public right now. Folks, this is just in. There is another explosion occurring at the George Washington Bridge. He says that the semi-truck had exploded violently. Holy shit, guys. This is terrible. Now there are 2 explosions in the city. We are now receiving a transmission from the emergency alert system. The NYPD, along with the Port Authority of New York and New Jersey, has issued a shelter-in-place warning. Holy Christ, this is serious business. Folks, please stay tuned to this station and please listen to the following message from the emergency alert system. We will get you back on the air shortly.
The following message is transmitted at the request by the New York Police Department and the Port Authority of New York and New Jersey. Just moments ago, the explosion has occurred at the George Washington Bridge. A semi-trailer has exploded on the middle section of the bridge, causing severe damage to the bridge and numerous casualties to motorists. It is now confirmed by police that these 2 explosions, along with the previous bombing event at the Hammerstein Ballroom in Midtown Manhattan, are now confirmed to be a terrorist attack. The perpetrators of the bombings in New York City remained unknown at this time. Due to the safety concerns of the public, along with the possibility of more explosions to occur in other areas, all residents in New York City, along with the New York metropolitan area, are urged to go indoors now. If possible, seek an underground shelter. Stay away from exterior walls, doors, and windows. Do not go outside, as travel is now strictly prohibited to civilians, with the exception to emergency personnel. Gather an emergency supply of food, water, clothing, medical supplies, extra batteries, flashlight, and a battery-powered radio. If you see any suspicious behavior in your area, dial 911. Do not confront the perpetrators by yourself, as you may be putting your life in serious danger. Continue to monitor local radio and internet sources for the latest information and updates on this dangerous situation.
Okay. Looks like this is the moment that we feared. The bombings of the George Washington Bridge and the Hammerstein Ballroom are now confirmed to be acts of terrorism. Some sources have claimed that this must be related to the bombings of the Washington Monument and the National Mall in Washington, D.C. However, as far as this event goes, and due to the severity of the situation, we can say for sure that it must be a strong possibility, but we should let the U.S. government confirms their allegations. For now, all residents in New York City must return to your homes and avoid traveling outdoors as a precautionary measure as more bombings may occur. Bring food, water, clothing, medical supplies, extra batteries, flashlight, and a battery-powered radio. Remember to remain vigilant for any suspicious behavior in your area. Honestly, we hope that these people at the Hammerstein Ballroom would survive. Truly, what a tragic day for those who were looking forward to watching her performance as a hologram idol. We hope that they will find the bombers quickly before they might strike again. In the meantime, we will keep you updated for the latest information regarding this dangerous situation. My name is Paul Brenner. Stay tuned to this station for more updates and information.
The following message is transmitted at the request by the Boston Police Department and the City of Boston Emergency Management. At approximately 2:21 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, an explosion has occurred on the intersection of Pearl Street and Franklin Street. Witnesses say that a Chevrolet Caprice had intentionally drove past the red light and exploded straight into oncoming traffic. It is believed that this was an act of terrorism. As a precautionary measure, all residents in the city of Boston are advised to return to your homes and avoid traveling for the rest of the afternoon. If you are within 5 minutes of your destination, complete your journey. Otherwise, seek shelter in a building where possible. It is unknown who is responsible for this act, but it is speculated that it might be related to the explosions in New York City and Washington, D.C. since several minutes ago. However, both of these cases are under thorough investigation by the Federal Bureau of the Investigation. As for now, remain indoors and avoid traveling. If you must travel, you do so at your own risk. Stay tuned to this station or other media sources for more information and updates on this dangerous situation. The following message is transmitted at the request by the Chicago Police Department and Cook County Department of Emergency Management. At approximately 3:28 p.m., 2 explosions had occurred on the 66th floor of the Willis Tower in Chicago. The explosions has caused severe damage and injuries, with a high number of fatalities have been reported. Initial reports stated that the explosion was originated at the Altitude Cafe shop on the 66th floor. Further reports have also claimed that the explosions must be related to the bombings of Boston, New York City, and Washington, D.C. that occurred since less than an hour ago. However, the Federal Bureau of Investigation is currently investigating into the matter. The Chicago Police Department along with the Cook County Department of Emergency Management are urging all residents within a 10-block radius of the Willis Tower to evacuate the area. The threat risks for the building collapse or more explosions in the tower, or in other parts of the city, is currently unknown. The Willis Tower, and areas near the tower have been evacuated. For safety reasons, the following road closures are: Interstate 290 and West Congress Parkway between Circle Interchange and Buckingham Fountain, Interstate 90 Kennedy Expressway between Circle Interchange and Exit 50 at Ohio Street, Lakeshore Drive between McFettridge Drive intersection by the south and the intersection of Monroe Street by the north. Further information of detailed road closures can be found at the Chicago Department of Transportation website at chicagodot.org. If you have a life-threatening emergency, dial 911 immediately. Leave your phone lines open for those who really need it. Continue to monitor local radio and internet sources for more information and updates and refer to later statements if necessary. We interrupt your programming. This is a national emergency. Important instructions will follow. The following message is transmitted at the request by the Homeland Security and the United States government. Since more than a past hour, several bombings have occurred in several locations across the eastern United States. Locations that have been affected by these explosions include the National Mall and Washington Monument in Washington, D.C., the Hammerstein Ballroom and the George Washington Bridge in New York City, the intersection of Pearl Street and Franklin Street at the Financial District of Boston, Massachusetts, and Willis Tower in Chicago, Illinois. These explosions have caused extensive damage and significant fatalities and injuries in these affected areas. As of 2:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, on May 28, 2016, the United States government is officially calling these attacks an act of terrorism against the United States. It is still unknown who is responsible for these attacks, but the United States government is currently launching a nationwide manhunt for the capture of these perpetrators. The following actions must be taken to ensure your survival to all residents of the United States. Remain calm and refer to later statements and updates on radio or television sources for more information regarding this national emergency. It is unknown if more attacks will occur elsewhere. Evacuations and closures are taking place in areas that could be targeted for further attacks. The President will be speaking shortly within the next 10 minutes. Continue to listen for later updates on this latest situation and take emergency action if later requested. This is an emergency action notification. All cable and broadcast systems shall transmit this emergency action notification message. This station has interrupted regular programming at the request by the White House to participate in the emergency alert system. During this emergency, all cable and broadcast stations will remain on the air to continue providing news and information to the public in assigned areas. This is WTNH. This station will continue to serve the New Haven area. If you are not in this area, tune now to a station providing news and information for your local area. You are listening to the emergency alert system serving the New Haven area. Do not use the telephone. The telephone lines must be kept open for emergency use. The emergency alert system has been activated.